The name of my company is Good Fortune with Pamela, and I am Pamela Passmore. I am a tarot reader as well as a palm reader. I also do astrology. Basically, I give psychic readings. Well, quite by accident. I had a friend who gave readings at parties, and she was unavailable for an event. I had always given readings with friends and family and for myself. I've been quite interested in, I guess you would say, mystic sciences for all my life. And I was very nervous about doing this publicly, though, at a celebration. But she persuaded me. I went and was very nervous. And before the evening is over, I didn't want to leave. It was a lovely experience. I did a lot of studying and everything before the event, but when it actually occurred, I forgot everything I'd read. I forgot everything I studied, and I just used my intuition. Anyway, I've been giving readings at parties ever since. All kinds. I do large events, big corporate parties, bridal showers, small events. Sometimes it's a girls' night out. They want to have facials and palm readings, baby showers, birthdays, everything, small and large. No event too big, no event too small. Usually always an asset. I'm very sensitive to, sight, sound, smells. That can be a bit challenging sometimes, especially in an urban environment. But for the most part, an asset. Someone asked me once what my strengths were, and I said, well, I think my sensitivity and my intelligence. Then they asked what my weaknesses were, and I said, I think my sensitivity and my intelligence. I don't know that it's mysterious. I don't know that it's magical. I think we all possess it. Some of us, it's like playing an instrument or having an athletic ability. You may have a predilection towards it, but no one is successful without discipline and study. I think personally, I was exposed to a lot of different environments growing up, so my perspective was enlarged, not necessarily by choice. I traveled around, I was exposed to various cultures. I think it made me very open and flexible and interested, and I didn't grow up in a box, so I don't tend to look inside of one. Well, these are my tarot cards. This is the bag I keep them in. These are my business cards. And this is my lamp. There is no genie inside, but perhaps if you gaze at it and wish for it long enough, you may meet one. This is a flashlight I use to read a person's palms. Sometimes I may be in a dark environment where the lighting is poor, so I'll take up my flashlight so I can look at the lines on their hands. A candle. Don't use it all the time, but I always have it with me to remind me of illumination. Depending on what sort of party I'm in, if it's a large event and there are a lot of people who want readings, each person gets one question. If it's a small event, they may have more questions. Depending on the question, I will read the palm sometimes or consult the cards. I usually tell people The palm, it tells me about your personality, the general direction of your life and where you've been, and a little bit about where you're going. The cards are more specific. If you have a particular scenario you're involved in, a future event, or even something about another person, the cards will tell me that. The palm will only tell me about you. It may tell me a bit about, your life partner and your children, but nothing very specific. The cards are more specific. I experience the energy field of the person. It's called the morphic field. And in a reading, you enter into that field and you feel what the person feels. You get a sense of what they're going through, what they're experiencing. You can be present in that field when you're reading the cards. And then, they leave and you exit the field and it's gone. Naturally, I'm compartmentalized to a degree. I've done readings at very large, crowded, noisy events. There's a certain process I go through to kind of shield myself from the sounds around me and focus directly on the person who's receiving the reading. And then it's small events where it's very quiet. I can delve more deeply into the person's issues and what they're facing in their life. Well, I seek first and foremost to please, to offer a service that is well received. I'm very flexible. I run everything myself. I give all the readings myself. Occasionally at large events I will use different readers, but I will always be present. I'm very flexible. I try to serve your needs the best I can. There are some events I do every year. Last year I read in the cards that a person, not the person who was getting the reading, but the one in his family, an extended relative, might face a very big challenge with his health. The next year I came back, he told me that was so. That person had indeed departed this life, and he was surprised. Everyone was surprised. I had not foreseen the departure of the person. I just thought that he would face a health challenge. I think the connection with the person. It's a very intimate connection, very deep connection. You relate to the person in a way that you don't relate to in everyday life. And the fact that this person may not be known to you, that they're a stranger, often enhances the experience. It's like what they say, sometimes a person will tell their innermost secrets to a stranger rather than someone they know. I think everyone should take everything with a grain of salt. We're all of us in a state of flux all the time. I don't believe that your future is 100% determined, all the time. That we're slaves to fate. We always have free will. Many times I will be approached with the sense of skepticism or cynicism, but as I apply myself and begin the reading, I find the person becoming more and more interested, asking more questions. So, of course, I think a person is wise to, reserve judgment and hold themselves in abeyance for anything someone might tell them about themselves. Ruminate on it, think about it. But I think the reader is there to spark an idea within the person. Even if the information is not accurate, it may spark a question, a response in that person that will lead to further inquiry and further introspection.